y'all come out Sundays. Bring your baby. Fathers, mothers, sons, daughters, grandkids. Y'all come out. Come get some good food. Come get some boxing lessons. Come do archery. You know what I mean? Inner city kids never shot a bow and arrow. So, trying to just give them some basic survival skills and discipline. It's my main focus because a lot of these children aren't in any programs. They're not in sports. They're running the street, and they don't have any mental toughness that they're receiving. We have guys in the community that has stood up and that make it out there every Sunday just so they can pour some of their knowledge and some of their love into the children. I mean, it is truly a community, and it is a village that it is being built, and it's such a beautiful thing. And I wish you guys can be there more than I can just tell you guys. I can never say no one's stepping up because people are stepping up. They're seeing where these kids are coming from, where they were, and where they are now. Just pulling up their pants. It's simple things. You don't show up here with your butt out. Just learning from them how to effectively communicate is something I'm seeing. The change I'm seeing personally when I'm seeing them every single week. They used to be like a lot of the N words. We try to eliminate that word because I need them to understand that they are warriors and they are kings and they are queens and they are royalty. And they need to understand that. And words are power. We want to continue to speak life into them, and we want them to start speaking life into themselves. So that's something that we teach. Because every Sunday, my children are out there working. They're out there sitting at the table, signing people up, make sure everyone signs their waivers, make sure that if anybody wanted to donate to what we're doing, that they can do so. And my wife, they don't get Sundays off. Our Sundays off for our community and for God. They're motivated. They're not forced to go. They're not forced to go Sundays. They get up every morning, every Sunday. Well, my son, my son is I need him for sure. I'm not making it mandatory, but your father kind of really needs you there, because he carries like the stuff, like a lot of products that we bring out to try to raise money. So he's humongous help. But it isn't mandatory that my children go, and they support in the vision. They're even learning business 101 and customer service, and they're learning how to effectively communicate because they're sitting there at a stand, greeting people, communicating, getting people to sign their waivers. Did you sign your waiver? Have you been here before? They're learning themselves. They've been through daddy's training camp, all right, at a young age. They learn how to defend themselves. Okay, they learn the de-escalation techniques. They learn how to not be so aggressive with our tone and our body language. Something that I've taught them at a young age, especially dealing with law enforcement. I think they love it, or they wouldn't be there. Cause my daughters, they do what they want to do. Yeah, they don't. I won't tell you that now. They don't feel like going. They would say that, and I wouldn't force them, or their mom wouldn't force. That makes me happy. Originally, I started doing skits with me and my wife. I had spinal surgery, and I lost 70% of feeling in my right leg. Had to get a procedure done on my L4 and L5 disc, and I was put on bed rest. I never told anybody this before. I was put on bed rest for 6 months and taking such a brute force that was so active and always on the go, always on the road, and sitting him down for 6 months. I mean, like things started getting a little cuckoo up here. So I started doing skits with my wife, like firearm skits. And once they started getting bigger, I'm like, okay, wow, like these skits are going viral. I need to start putting messages in my skits. That was something that I never knew I had in me, because I've been such a serious person, like for majority of my life, for 29 years. I've been serious. I've been angry, been hurt, and it's always been all about my family. Not so much how am I impacting the community. It's always just been my wife and my children, my mom, my brothers. And they still are the people that matter to me. But now I'm offering myself to the world. Every once in a while I like to make a song and put some messages in there. Yeah, for our people. My last track was called The Militant Messiah, and it spoke on the way the system was designed to break us, to keep us behind. And it spoke to us how we need to start training, how we need to start coming together, how we need to start arming ourselves because we're so far behind. We've been so far behind for hundreds of years. The minute black man picked up a shotgun, that was the minute Gun Control Act came along. So it's no secret that the government didn't want us armed. So, and that's even more of a reason for us to do just that, train and educate our community. And one of our mottos at the Choppa Community is each one teach one. The range, me and my brother and my partner Zoe, we built the range on our uncle's private property. We pretty much lease out the range. We just started building it. We got like 100 tons of dirt, and we built a big old sand hill as a backstop, so bullets just won't be flying everywhere. And my brother, he's a construction genius, and he built a pavilion where people can sit under and unload their firearms and just be in a safe place to do so. So, like even if it rains or something, they can still get some training. And we have sponsors. I can't even explain how God's been so good to us. Companies have reached out to us, seeing the work we're doing, and they're like, "How can we help?" I'm like, "Well, you can send some ammunition." A lot of times with the adults, we make a mandatory purchase of ammunition. The children are absolutely free. The training and whatever they need is absolutely free. But the adults, if they just want to come use the range on Sunday, just buy some ammunition. So that's how we've been kind of building things up. I respond with kindness, always. I walk the talk, you know. How can I say I'm spreading love in my community? As soon as somebody say something negative to me, I'll respond with negativity. So I always respond with kindness. I'm very mindful of that. I've received um, my share of hate towards what I'm trying to do. And a lot of times when I respond the way I do, they respond with kindness as well. So it's like they're trying to see what kind of person I am. They're trying to pick at me to see, oh, this guy's spreading love and unity. But but as soon as I say the wrong thing, I feel like a lot of times people troll when they try to get a reaction out of me. And we have a lot of supporters that's not in the hip hop community. That's in the white community, because a lot of them, they understand that we've been behind. So because we're the one with the thought process, with the stigma on firearms. We're the one who's been taught firearms are so bad. They haven't been taught that. They're shooting deers and hogs at 12, 13 years old. Sometimes earlier than that. They haven't been taught that. So it's a majority of our people. I don't blame them because my mother was the same way. But now she's my number one supporter of what I'm doing. For her, if she can change the way she looks at firearms because of what I'm doing, I know I can change the heart of my community for sure. At 14 years old, I stole my uncle's 38 special. Yep, I was 14 years old. Yep, stole it right. I didn't tell him until about a year ago. Yep, I told him about a year ago because I was able to, make things right with him. And it's been something that's been heavy on my spirit. He was like, "That was you," and them accused so many people of it, and it was a big deal. But I didn't know any better. I just knew it was crazy out here. It was crazy. And I knew my uncle. He had firearms. He had guns, and I figured he wouldn't miss this one. Yep. So that was my first firearm. My first legal one was 2 years ago. Yep, it was an AR-15. As soon as I was able to buy one, I said it's on. I just kept buying them, and I don't know why. I just something just told me to keep buying them. It wasn't like it was an addiction or anything. It was like, why not? Like, because I can. I can. I work hard. I bought firearms, and that became a legacy. Now people showing my collection, it's like, whoa, it kind of built my brand. And oh yeah, definitely a collection. definitely, definitely a collection. About 60 firearms. Nowhere near Black Rambo though. Now, he's the one with the problem if he was watching this. Yeah, um, around 60 firearms, and still building, still building, still building the collection, and the legacy I want to leave for my children. I want them to have some land, and I want them to be financially, stable when I leave, and I want them to have plenty of protection. Y'all can do what you want with daddy's guns. You need to sell a couple of them, but arm your family and educate your children and your family just the way I did. So that's what I'm leaving behind.